Everybody, I'm Brian Webb. Trenton Hooker's here. Michael, Ashley, Izzy, all back there, and a couple of our great reporters standing by to talk to us. If you want to join us on YouTube, we'd love to hear your comments as well. Help you chew up a little bit of this Saturday afternoon. It's too hot out there to do anything anyway.
Definitely.
Just sit around and watch us gab all day.
Ramble, really.
Ramble.
Yes.
Good word.
Yes.
Where have I heard that before?
I don't know. I've seen it around, but more heard it.
So I guess we should start. The heat is back.
Yes.
And
we kind of thought we had a reprieve, but it's back with a vengeance.
It always comes back with a vengeance.
Always.
And although I must say, looking on the bright side, I think it hasn't been the worst summer.
I agree. I felt like last summer was worse.
It was worse
but,
last summer.
I did see the monsoon report with rain totals this month in July, a lot less than it was what they were hoping for, I saw. So.
Right. At the beginning of the season, they thought it might be pretty decent.
Be a wet one,
hasn't
so hopefully we get that back. But
all right, still some more chance for that. And then we had a rescue today, heat rescue, and it's kind of tied into what I somehow missed the radar on a famous hiker who visited the valley last weekend, which we can talk about him a little bit later. But anyway, so we want to go to Taylor Wirtz, who's covering this story of a rescue, not one, not two, not 10, not five, but what?
A group of eight, I believe.
A group of eight,
Taylor, can you let us know?
Yeah, 8 people. Fire came out. There was a huge scene. I talked to a hiker who saw everything. He said he's never seen so many fire trucks before and EMTs. So it was a group of 8 people. 2 people were taken to the hospital in stable condition. 1 was taken out on a stretcher, and the other had to be airlifted by a helicopter. I believe there's some footage of that person on the stretcher right there. But it sounds like all of them, to some degree, had to be treated. The hiker I spoke to said he saw people covered in ice packs. So I think that whole group was really feeling the heat and needing some form of treatment. And there's signs everywhere that are, when we pulled in, a sign that said closed for rescue at the trailhead. And there are a couple hikers out here, but people are, I can tell, reconsidering coming out here right now because it is hot.
And Taylor, I believe Phoenix Fire Department did say that all of this group were from out of town coming and doing this?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Wow.
The hiker I spoke to, he's a native. He lives right around the corner. He hikes this once a week, thousands of times. And he said he definitely got the vibe that they were inexperienced, probably from out of town. And we have come across some people that are from out of town today. So I think, it's an iconic hike here. Everyone wants to come and do it, but people don't really realize what this heat could do to you.
I've talked about this on previous Fox 10 talks about, it was a year or two ago where we had a group of women from Atlanta, I believe, and they all had trouble up there. And at the time, it was considered the biggest rescue I think they had done. I can't remember the number, 12, 15, maybe more. And it was just a real mess. But I'm starting to think, when you look up the websites, what should I do when I'm visiting Phoenix? Does Camelback Mountaintop reach the top of the list? And again, they don't clearly know what they're dealing with when they get here, even if you're from Atlanta, which is, I'm sure, very hot and humid. But I don't know if it's the dryness of the heat, just the hike itself. Camelback is no joke. If you haven't tried to climb that mountain, it's not a piece of cake.
It's one of the first things you see when you land at Sky Harbor. It's in all the advertisements. It's begging for you to come and check it out. And I think, you're in an air-conditioned vehicle when you get in the parking lot and you're thinking I'll just go for a second and see how far I can get up. And then you don't know your limitations. You're up there. And by the time it's too late, you start feeling hot, can't get out of there. And the intensity of the sun here, I don't think people realize either. You mentioned humidity. So people are like, oh, I know heat. I know I can handle it. But the sun is just no joke out here, the UV index.
It beats you up. And Taylor, I was wondering, did we reach that, 105 temperature degree where they closed down Camelback? Have you seen those signs out today?
We haven't seen, the only closure sign we saw was closed for rescue, but I assume that was from earlier. We've just seen the signs that say, warning when it's this hot, but there hasn't been an official closure. The gates are open. The car right now says 104. My phone says 103. So I think we are almost just about there. There is a ranger up at the start of the trail, kind of trying to give people advice, telling people that where the water is, things like that. So it is serious. And you were talking about the humidity. I came from Florida where I thought I was used to heat, but this really is different. Had to ask Laura, photographer, to move the car around because even though I was in the AC, the heat was just beating down through the windows and you could still see how flushed my face is. We were baking out here, weren't we?
Yeah. Hey, Taylor, shout out from Darren Lloyd watching us from Deltona, Florida. So definitely carrying over some happy fans there.
Darren.
So
thanks for shouting out.
Contessa Cruz watching us from Bullhead City. Appreciate that.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, we appreciate that. And, I was going to ask you about that, Taylor, being fairly new to this. Just before we let you go, any real surprises in the heat you've been dealing with?
Yeah, I think I'm just shocked at how your body reacts differently. In Florida, our news crews, it was never a thing, oh, it's too hot, go inside. We would just stand out there for hours, and it was horrible, but we could do it. But here, I'm just surprised at how my body, I can feel it shutting down if I'm out here for too long. And even at night, just the constant and the way that you can feel the heat rising. Yeah, it's not a matter of, oh, can I handle it? It's just a matter of your body just shutting down, whether you think you can handle it or not.
It's a different animal, and you feel for those first responder crews and what they go through too, having to save person after person after person after warning after warning after warning.
Yeah. Well, Taylor, we'll see you at 5 o'clock. Appreciate.
Careful out there.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, let's go to Nicole Krasean because this is a fascinating one. So this guy on Instagram, on social media, he's doing a challenge as we're talking about how terrible conditions are out there, on these hiking trails. This guy's actually recreating that inside of his own house.
Hey, brother, I've been there. My air conditioner pooped out a few summers ago. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So, Nicole, what's this gentleman up to tonight?
So what I'm hearing is that we just missed the awesome opportunity to interview you live a couple years ago. We're a couple years too late. This gentleman's name is Paul Farmer. He lives in the Waddell area. And he is doing what he's calling the No AC Challenge. So he has been doing this for, I believe, almost 70 days now, right around 70 days. So the majority of the time that we've been in these 90s, 100s, even 110 plus, he's been doing this. He has quite the setup at his house from what we've seen. He's got the box fans going. I've been told that he takes quite a few showers just to kind of regulate his body temperature. But we're going to be at 5 o'clock. We're going to be interviewing him live from right in his home, and we're going to kind of feel the conditions a little bit because 5 o'clock, as we know, is one of the hottest times of the day. So we're going to be right there with him. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about why he decided to do this. It's not just let's see if I can handle this. He's actually raising money for families in need. I saw that earlier today. He was out at a water drive. So he's really partnering with a lot of different groups to talk about this topic. And I was looking up some statistics. One of our producers gave me a good reference point. Last year, 2024, there were, I believe, 131, 138, somewhere in the 130s of indoor heat-related deaths in Maricopa County. And among those, 88% had an AC present in the home, but 70% of those weren't functioning. So you're talking about, I did the math because, we work in words, so I had to pull out my calculator, but it looks like that's 80-something deaths that were because an AC heat-related death with an AC not functioning. So you have to kind of make that, assumption that it had a contributing factor that the AC was out. So we know about all of the unhoused that are out in the elements, but there are plenty of people that are dying as well in homes without functioning air conditioning. And yeah, some of us have had that happen for bouts of time, but some people obviously don't have an opportunity to go to someone else's house or to go into work or to find those places. I know they do a good job of trying to do the cooling centers, but sometimes your opportunities are limited. So we're going to chat with him a little bit about why he's deciding to do this and what the cause is behind this crazy act, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to think he's a little nuts for this.
Absolutely. I mean, just wild.
It brings up a lot of issues though too, right? You think of those air conditioners that were out. How many people couldn't afford to get it fixed?
Right.
The electric bills just go up and up and up. We've seen rate increases year after year after year. And, a lot of people out there are making decisions, life or death decisions. What do I put that air conditioner at on a day it's 115? Versus what am I going to eat? How am I going to get gas in my car?
It's not easy, no. And especially where you have power companies, the two that we have in the Phoenix Metro, SRP, APS, raising rates year after year. It's tough for people.
And they all, I believe, like to promote that they have policies to help people. Hopefully they are making that well known to the people who need to know that before it's too late. I know there are also a lot of great groups out there that try to keep an eye on people, but people still slip through the cracks, and maybe they're reluctant to ask for help. I don't know what the issue is, but and I didn't realize, Nicole, my bad, that this gentleman's been doing this for 70 days. I thought it was kind of like a one-off thing. I mean, but that's
dedication.
He's dedicated. And I have to give a shout out to Brian, the photographer I'm working with today.
Hey, Brian.
Because I told him the other day that I was going to be doing the story. I said, we're going to go, we're going to sweat. It's going to be uncomfortable. He's been a trooper. He got his Powerade. He's ready. So he said, I'll do it with you. And I was like, okay, great. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes.
How many sick days does he have available that he could have used?
I feel like we got a lot coming.
None. That's a zero. That's a zero. So we're gonna get him back in the AC ASAP afterward. But gonna be a good conversation with this guy and bring up a good issue. So
okay. Good
shout out to Carl watching us from Whitman, Arizona too. So
thank you, Carl.
Yeah, wherever you're at, it's in Arizona. The heat is real right now.
Yeah. Oof. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys. Be careful out there. All right. Looking forward to that story tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, when we get back from the break, I do want to talk about this one because this one was so shocking and disturbing, about a father who left his kids in a vehicle, 4 kids in a car. Phoenix PD had to rescue him in a parking lot while he was inside shopping at an adult store.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that in just a second with that body cam video. But yeah, I mean, your heart goes out to people right now this time of year, especially older folks. Check on them, see how they're doing, because you might think you're doing okay and you might be tough to handle the heat, but it's going to creep up on you.
And you think Arizona, that's a great place to be, maybe, I'm just imagining a senior citizen, a nice retirement area to live. It's warm. Oh, yeah, but the summer can kill you.
Yeah.
That gets left out of the equation a lot. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, stick with us. Your questions, we'll take them, okay? Watching Fox 10 Talks. Hey, everybody, you're watching Fox 10 Talks. Brian, we're talking the heat today.
Yeah.
The heat is on this week in Phoenix and Arizona. But this was a really disturbing story where, like, we kind of teased it. We've got to see it real quick. But 4 kids rescued by Phoenix PD. Call came in at a parking lot at an adult store. And officers found these kids trapped inside this car, couldn't get out. Triple-digit heat. I know some of that body camera was released by the police department. We could take a look at that, Mike. Yeah.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Hi.
Where's mom or dad?
Call that all officers hate to get multiple children left in a car, unattended, car's not on, doors locked.
Interlock your fingers. You're under arrest.
Oof. So, yeah, that's 38-year-old Asensio Largo, the dad who was inside nearby business, just short of an hour, police arriving on scene. So those kids were in there for quite a while. You could see they're getting medical attention by the officers there. But he's been hit with 8 felonies related to this investigation. And they said the inside temp on in that car was over or around 125 degrees Fahrenheit.
Man, I mean, you know what? If you got to go to the adult shop, go to the adult shop, but don't take the kids and leave them in the car, for God's sake. I mean, that takes the cake. That's
one of the worst ones I've seen in a while.
It's awful. And the kids, we are told, are expected to be okay. Right?
Yes,
they got there in time.
Mm-hmm. They transported a nearby
Somebody
hospital.
Noticed one of them
in distress. Yeah,
in distress, and then got the other one. So I was just mentioning how many over the years kids in hot car stories we have done. I don't think it's been as prevalent this summer, knock on wood. I may be missing some things, but just the circumstances of that one are just awful.
Exactly. And thankfully, I think people are paying attention when they're seeing, what's going on. But at the same time, too, these happen way more than they should. And it's pretty disgusting to see that. So hopefully, yeah.
I wanted to read, did we talk about, Darren Lloyd joined us, talked about people actually going into stores like Walmart.
That's a good point.
I mean,
yeah.
That.
Well, it used to be the mall, right? The mall was kind of an easy place to go to
cool down.
To cool down. But obviously, malls aren't
there
what
anymore.
They used to be. Yeah, so kind of taking it where you can. I mean, obviously, there's cooling centers in the Phoenix area where you can go and get some help. But I think at the same time, too, people are looking for creative ways to do it. I know the movie theater, too.
Right.
Those day matinee shows, it's a little cheaper to cool off, but it's not easy out there for folks.
Oh, that was a tough one. Now you got to wonder. I think he mentioned something about the mom being at work. So there is a mom in the picture. But you got to think Dad's a little incapable of handling his duties there. So
Contessa weighing in on this. Contessa Diaz, thank you for those comments. But saying she's disgusted by that. I hope these kids have a better family to care for them now. So hopefully, they are getting some help. And Ashley asking a good question there. Was the car off? No windows cracked? Yes. Appears to be that in the body camera footage where the car was off. Windows were up. So
I mean,
I believe he was drunk, right?
Okay.
I think and there was something with the shift interlock that had been removed, so he shouldn't have been driving.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes. I do.
There's a lot of terrible things.
A lot of bad things going on here. Yeah. The smell of alcohol. Yeah, that does ring a bell.
Right.
All right. Best of luck to those kids. And
thankfully, those officers were there to, get those kids out.
Police see it all, man.
I know.
I mean, they see
so rough.
Police can be hard nuts to crack, but you see why. I mean, they have to see the worst of the worst stuff out there.
Yeah.
I mean, day after day, it's got to track you down, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and stuff
so
like
heavy.
when kids are involved too, like, man.
Well, good job by that Samaritan who called it in, because that would have been a really tragic situation if somebody wasn't proactive. I mean, if you're walking around and you see kids in a car without it on now, I mean, you call 911 immediately.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Ashley, I'm making a good point there. There's a lot of people who use the light rail and to cool off too. Yeah, not a bad way to do that. So, get some help out there.
Okay. Should we talk about We got Robbie Baker standing by. Do we bring Robbie?
Come on deck.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to bring Robbie. Come on deck.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to talk about this one. So, speaking of hot water, there's that.
Robbie's
app.
in hot water?
Well, I don't know if Robbie actually appeared on this or not. Maybe we can break it down. But there's an app called the T app that women are using. It was actually the #1 app, I believe, last month on the Apple App Store. And
more popular than MySpace?
Believe it or not.
Shocking.
So it's where people can go on there and rate men for A, the relationship, but B, for the dates.
That can't
how they're
be
going.
good.
Kind of, a rate my date, if you will.
I get blindsided by you guys. I come on here last weekend. We're talking about Speedos. What the heck is going on
Poor
here?
Robbie.
Well,
I'm not going to be able to make it today.
Exactly.
Next time Trenton texts me, I'm going to get the topics ahead of
Not
time.
happening. But in a cruel twist of irony in this case, the data, apparently, the storage servers, the AP reported this yesterday, the app developers did not lock that down by password. And in order to sign up and to view the profiles of these men that were being talked about, but to also weigh in about them, you had to not only provide your driver's license's verification, but you also had to take a selfie to match that picture.
And then all that stuff got leaked?
All that info got leaked. Also the metadata too, with location.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people, weighing in on this.
So the guys are like, gotcha.
This is victory over that. But also some security concerns, because I was seeing that some of those geotag locations were like sensitive U.S. military sites too. So
everything's
wait to spill the tea.
Every website is secure until it's not, and then it's just like we are taking care of matters moving forward.
Right. Well, what do we think about that website? Do you guys remember a website called The Dirty that was up for a while, where people could post?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows if any of that was real or not, but they would just put people's business out there. It felt like there's a responsible way that website could actually do good, but how many websites actually turn into that?
It reminds me of the guy who got in trouble on ESPN, the sports guy who outed the girl supposedly having an affair with the dad, and then he had to apologize because he was totally wrong, apparently.
It's always the sports guys.
Sports guys.
Don't bring me into this.
Boom. That's the.
I got no tea here. All right.
Contestant win and bring on the sports gossip. Right. Yes.
I don't have that much gossip.
They should have just named the app Coldplay.
Yes, exactly. Right. Well, and that was originally Mark Zuckerberg's first venture, was Hot or Not, I believe,
Hot or Not,
on Harvard's campus. So again, too, this is kind of the original intent of all of these, of trying to further.
So you can become a billionaire if you start one of these. Is that what you're saying? Is that where you're going with that?
Got to have that good firewall in.
All right. Should we rescue Robbie? And let him out of this mess we get? What are you talking about? Like Cardinals putting on the pads soon? Is that
Monday will be the first padded practice for the Cardinals training camp. Today was an off day for them. 3 days on the field. Today was. They're still working, still doing walkthroughs and meetings and stuff, but no practice today for the Cardinals. And then they'll be back on the field tomorrow at State Farm Stadium for normal workout, but it's only open to season ticket holders. So if you're a season ticket holder, you can apply for your free ticket to tomorrow's practice. And then Monday's open again to everybody, and that's the first time they put on the pads, and we're popping the pads and playing some real football finally.
Starting up.
What do you think the education level, the study level difference is, even if you came from a top program, Bama, Auburn, Georgia, but you get to the pros and you got to study that system? What do you think that level of difference is?
It's actually interesting you asked that, because somebody asked Jonathan Gannon, the head coach, this week about how much he watches the film of every practice, because obviously they practice every day for about an hour and a half every day for a month, give or take, of training camp. And Jonathan Gannon, if I can remember what he said, kind of summarize it, basically said he watches it almost 10 times back.
Wow.
Give or they'll sit down and they'll watch it as the coaching staff. Then he'll sit down and watch it with a position group, and then so every assistant coach and whatever does it differently. But then they chop it up for individual players and individual plays. And so when they're done at around between 2:30 and 3 on the field, there is still hours and hours of film study every single night and in the morning before they are on the field again. And I think the biggest difference for players when they get to the NFL is, in high school, these guys are the alphas. They're the best player by a mile on their team, and that's how you get to the biggest colleges. And then when you get to college, there's an adjustment because, there's a lot of these guys are good now. So you're still can be head and shoulders above guys, but there's also guys that are really good. But then when you get to the pros, every single player was that guy in high school that was just the best player that high school had ever seen. And that's everybody on your roster and everybody on everybody else's roster. So that's the film study, the extra little things that you can kind of tweak about your game to help yourself out and give yourself the leg up. That's how guys kind of separate themselves at the NFL level.
It may come down to like a hair's measurement of you getting over the other guy.
Yeah.
And you getting
and that's honestly, like when I got, because what are we now, the 9th market, the 10th biggest market or something like that? Once I got back here, I spend about 6 hours a night watching my sportscasts. I got to watch how the inflection, how I say my different syllables.
And dedication to excellence.
It is. I got to, go over the lower thirds. Did we spell everything correctly? It's you got to study this stuff. This is what we got to do.
Robbie's known for being a stickler in the newsroom, that's for sure.
Really?
Yeah, perfectionist.
Brian definitely watches these podcasts back at night. I'm not gonna lie, I watch them all and I clip them and I put them on all my socials.
Yes.
Well,
that's just promotion.
When I have insomnia, sure, it gets you right to sleep.
The sound of Brian's voice puts you right to sleep.
Brian's like the soothing sounds of my own voice.
Trenton Hooker.
ASMR.
Moments of the night.
How much time do we have, Michael? I want to ask
we have 90 seconds.
We can go fast.
Is Kyler Murray going to last if he doesn't do well this season?
The short answer is he has his extension still. So contractually he's here for a while. I think they need to make the playoffs and they need to win a playoff game for him to really be here long term.
I am not anti Kyler Murray. I think he's very exciting.
He's
to watch.
Incredible athlete.
But we got to get it done.
This is going into year 7 or 8, and he hasn't won a playoff game yet. Yeah. And he was the number 1 overall pick. And not all that's his fault. The team hasn't always been, as talented around him as a playoff team should be. But this year's team has the talent to make it happen.
All right. Can I make a bold statement about Kyler Murphy? Stinks. He stinks. I say that as a Niners fan, to be fair.
There you go. There you go.
Couches
I have
with that.
biasness, so I'll take the heat for it.
The truth comes out. Okay, fair enough. Oh, is that it? Is that a wrap? Are we done?
D-backs happening today? Pirates?
D-backs, Pirates, they're in a rain delay right now in Pittsburgh, but they will be playing.
But yesterday they won 11 innings.
11 innings, wow. They won 1-0, in 11 innings.
Yeah.
It was a very, it would just be honest, it was a boring baseball game.
0-0
into extra innings is not the most exciting, unless you're into pitching.
True. At least they got the win after the Astros.
Nice to know
at least they got a win
somewhere in the United States.
It exists. Water falls from the sky somewhere.
Who knew?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah, we'll be here tomorrow, 3:30.
See you then.